Watch this. I'm going to ask an AI tool to help with the same task twice. Here's the first attempt. Write some social media posts for a fitness app. Okay. Now the second attempt. I'm launching a fitness app called MoveMate for busy professionals aged 28 to 45 who can't maintain consistent routines. We offer 15-minute workouts that adapt to your schedule. Create 5 Instagram posts emphasizing time efficiency and sustainability, not extreme fitness culture. Tone, encouraging and realistic, not preachy. Include a hook, value statement, as well as a soft call to action. Same tool, same task, but completely different results. The difference here isn't the AI, it's what happened before I hit enter. And that's what this module is all about. Here's what most people do with AI. They have a vague idea of what they need. They open ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini. Then they type something like, "Help me with X," and hope it works out. Sometimes it does work out, but a lot of the time it doesn't. And people have no idea why. And then they try again with slightly different wording. It still doesn't work. So they either give up and do it themselves, or just accept whatever mediocre thing the AI gave them. We might call this the magic 8-ball approach to AI. Shake it and see what happens. The problem is you're asking AI to read your mind. You want something specific. Maybe you can even picture it in your head. But you haven't actually told the AI what that thing is. AI is not intuitive. In fact, it's often very literal. It will do exactly what you ask, but only if you actually ask for something specific. So, before you can get good results from AI, you need to be clear about what you're trying to accomplish. Not just the task, something like, "I need social media posts," but rather the actual problem you're solving. Who are you talking to? What do you want them to do? Why should they care? What does success actually look like? If you can't answer these questions, AI can't really help you, because it doesn't know either. But if you figure that out first, suddenly AI becomes incredibly useful. Because now you're not hoping it guesses right. You're directing it precisely towards what you actually need. So here are 4 questions you need to answer before you use AI for anything. Question 1. What problem am I actually solving? Not the task, the problem. I need to write an email is a task. The problem might be, I need to convince my team to adopt a new process, or I need to turn down a request without damaging the relationship. See the difference? The problem tells you what success looks like. The task is just a format. If you only think about the task, AI will give you generic results. If you think about the problem, you can direct AI to help you solve it. Question 2. Who exactly am I talking to? And I mean exactly. Not something vague, broad, open-ended like customers, students, employees. Who are these people? What do they actually care about? What do they already know? What are they worried about? What's going on in their world right now that affects how they'll receive whatever it is you're trying to create for them? The The more specific you get, the more useful AI becomes. Because now it can tailor the output to actual people instead of an abstract audience. Question 3. What does success look like? How will you know if whatever action you're trying to take has worked? Is it clicks? Signups? People actually understanding something? A behavior change? Reduced complaints? If you don't know what you're aiming for, you can't tell if you hit it, and neither can the AI. Question 4. What constraints am I working with? This is stuff like, how much time do I have? What's the word count? What tone is appropriate? What am I definitely not supposed to do? What format does this need to be in? Constraints aren't necessarily limitations. They're more like helpful boundaries that focus your work. Here's the thing. If you can't answer these 4 questions, you're not ready to use AI yet, because you don't actually know what you need. And if you don't know, how would the AI know? Okay, so you've asked yourself these questions, you've come up with an answer, and you've figured out your strategy. The next step is to communicate it to the AI. This is where a lot of people still mess up. They know what they want, but they don't explain it clearly enough. There's a lot of good ways to do this, but here's one structure that works. First, give AI a role. Tell it what perspective to take. Instead of just asking for content, say, you're a workplace safety coordinator, or you're a marketing consultant for small business. Something like that. Whatever makes sense for what you're trying to do. This helps AI to understand what kind of voice and expertise to use. Second, provide context. This is background information that affects the output. You might say something like, "This is for people who have never used this software before," or "Our audience is skeptical about this change because the last change failed." AI has a hard time reading between the lines. If something matters, you have to say it. Third, be explicit about the task that you want AI to complete. Not just write something, but exactly what you want. You might say something like, "Create 5 bullet points explaining why this matters." Or, "Draft 3 paragraphs with this structure: problem, solution, call to action." Fourth, specify the format. Tell AI how exactly you want the output to be structured. You might say something like, "Use short sentences. Don't use jargon. Include a header for each section. Keep each paragraph under 100 words. Fifth, set constraints. Tell the AI what it should avoid, what's off limits, any other boundaries that you want it to operate within. You may say something like, "Don't use corporate buzzwords. Avoid fear-based language. Maximum 500 words total." And sixth, if it helps, and if you have the time, give an example. This is a really key strategy. Show AI what good actually looks like for the task you're trying to perform. AI is very good at following models. Once you provide it with an illustration of the kind of thing that you're going for, it can often extrapolate from there. You might say something like, here's the tone I want, and then paste something similar to the output you're going for. AI is quite good at pattern matching, and the more examples you give it, the better it is at finding a pattern. When you put all of that together, you'll be more likely to create prompts that produce useful results on the first or second try instead of the 10th try. And the thing is, writing prompts like this forces you to be clear about what you actually want. Frankly, this is valuable even if you aren't using an AI tool to try to get something done. One more thing to say about prompting the AI. You're not going to get it perfect the first time, every time. And that's normal. Good prompt engineering is something like a conversation. You may try something, see what AI gives you, and then notice what's wrong or what's missing. You adjust your prompt, give feedback, you try again. These incomplete results aren't failure. This is how it works. One mistake that people can make is accepting the first output, even when it's not quite right. Or the opposite mistake, giving up after one try. Instead of this, look at what the AI gave you and ask, what's good here? What's missing? What needs to change? Then refine your prompt and run it again. Maybe start a new branch in the conversation if you're using a tool that allows for that. Usually by the second or third attempt, you'll start to get something actually useful. And here's one professional suggestion. When you find a prompt that works, save it. Build a template. Document what context you provided, what constraints mattered, what made the difference. Because the next time you need something similar, you won't be starting from scratch. You'll have a blueprint that already works. This is how you get faster and better over time. You end up building your own system of what works. So here's what my advice boils down to. Strategy first. Figure out what problem you're solving, who you're solving it for, what success looks like, and what your constraints are. Then, communicate that strategy clearly to AI using structured prompts. Role, context, task, format, constraints. Then, iterate, refine, improve, and document what works so you can reuse it. This feels like more work up front, and honestly, it is. But it's the difference between spending 3 hours hoping AI gives you something useful and spending 30 minutes directing AI to give you exactly what you need.